Here's the thing I want you to know about mindset. I've been saying this now for years. I should probably, trademark this or something, but this is something I want you to know about mindset. Fear masks itself as logic. Fear masks itself as logic. And you can add for the high achiever, right? You can add that suffix at the end. Fear masks itself as logic for the high achiever. What do I mean by that? If I came to you and I said, well, are you afraid? Is there anything, are you afraid of anything? Most of you will say, no, I'm not afraid. I'm very confident. And yet there are lots of things that you may be doing that hint at the opposite. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you told me that you wanted to be VP of operations. You're currently a director. You want to be VP. Okay. You leave this call today and you go online, you go on LinkedIn, and you see that there is in fact a VP of operations role. It's your dream role. It's the dream company. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it's right there, right? You read the description, you read all the 10 bullets of what they want, and you're like, got that, got that, got that, got that. And then maybe there are two or three, maybe you look and they say they want a PMP. You don't have a PMP, okay? You don't have a PMP. So what do? You then say, well, I have all this other stuff. They have 10 things listed. I have 8 of them, but there are 2 things, including the PMP, I don't have. So instantly, I guess I'm not qualified, right? You might then say, well, what I need to do now is I need to go research the PMP. I need to go look into how to take the exam for the, take the PMP. Then I need to take the exam, and then I need to pass it. And then after which I will then be ready and qualified for the VP level role. While you're doing all of that, somebody else without the PMP, and in fact, somebody else who had 5 of those 10 bullets has landed the job. And I see this happen so often. And it's so insidious, it's so subtle, you don't even know you're doing it. In fact, it's logical. If I asked you, why didn't you apply for that job? And you said, oh, they were looking for a PMP, right? If you said that to 3 people, they'd be like, oh yeah, makes sense. Nobody would challenge that. Makes sense. Because it says in black and white, they need the PMP, and I don't have the PMP. So of course I should go get it, right? That's fear masking itself as logic. Fear doesn't mean literal fear. It's not like I'm literally shaking in my, it's not that at all. Not for the high achieving person, not for the person who has a track record of success. It shows up as logic. It shows up as rational thought. It shows up as like doing everything perfect, doing everything right. I see this all the time. Somebody says, hey, I have a job for you. Send me your resume. And rather than getting that resume into their hands right away, you tinker with it over and over for a week. Meanwhile, they've started interviewing, right? But if I asked you, you wouldn't say, no, I'm not confident. No, you'd never say that. Of course you're confident. Fear masks itself as logic. So whenever you find yourself being hyper logical, hyper rational, hyper perfectionistic, if that's a word, consider for a moment that's the way fear shows up for you, right? Consider for a moment. Oh, I look at this job description. It's a VP of operations. It's perfect. Oh, but I don't have the industry. They want somebody with fintech. I don't have fintech background. Oh, they want someone with 20 years experience. I don't have 20 years experience. I personally, Stella, have never had the number of years of experience on any job description for any job I've ever held. Whatever the JD said they wanted in terms of years of experience, I've had maybe half of that. I've never had that number. I also have never worked in the same industry twice. Every industry has been a new one for me. Every single industry I've worked in has been a new industry. So, but these are things that people hold themselves back. People will say, oh, I don't have that industry. This is for somebody in healthcare. I've never done healthcare before. I've only been in banking, right? That's how it shows up. And you just hold, and all you do when you do that, let me tell you, you just add years. You just added 5 more years to your career trajectory unduly. Not because you're having a ball and having a blast, but because you're scared. You're scared. And it's high time you name it so that you can deal with it. Sometimes our ego, because of course you're experienced, right? You've got 15, 20 years in the game. You're not going to say that you're scared. That's the ego. The ego wants to keep you feeling good. So it's not going to admit to fear, but that's what it is. It wants to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to look stupid, right? Someone says, I'm hesitant if I only have one missing. I know we all do it, right? Unless you see everything's checked off, and then that's the only time. But if you see one little thing, oh, I don't have that, we talk ourselves out of it. And even if you don't talk yourself out of it, because this keeps going, this doesn't just stop with the application. Even if you don't talk yourself out of it, I've seen people who will, in fact, apply for the job, but then will self-sabotage it at some point. At some point. right? They won't leave it on the field. They will self-sabotage at some point in that process because deep down, they never really believed they had a shot. They never really believed they could have it. They never really believed they were qualified. They were taking the steps. Yeah, someone says, I need to be confident, so let me do that. But they never believed it. And let's fast forward. Let's say you actually land the job, okay? Because this, like I said, this keeps going. This is a daily thing. Let's say you in fact do apply and you in fact do land the job and it's day one or week one. You've made it. You can't believe you're there. You want to pinch yourself. Oh my goodness, I'm here. I made it to this company with all these smart people and I convinced somebody that I'm a VP. Oh my goodness. And so now it's week one and you're in a meeting, you're on a conference call with your entire team, your direct reports, your boss, your peers. You're all in this meeting, okay? And the purpose of the meeting, the agenda is to discuss the pipeline for next year. So there's some brainstorming going on, there's some idea sharing going on a pipeline for next year. That's the whole point. You've been there a week. You have some ideas. You've done something similar at your prior company. You have some thoughts, you have some ideas, but you think to yourself, oh, I probably shouldn't say anything. I should probably just wait and listen. I just got there. I should probably just listen. I don't, yeah, they just said that acronym. I don't even know what that means. I guess I'll just write it down and just go look it up later. I'll just ask that person quietly what that means, right? But I really do have this idea. I should probably say something. So then you say, so you muster, you find the courage, and then you say the thing that you have in mind, the idea that you have. And after you say it, there is silence on the other end. No one says a word for 5 seconds. Whatever you think in those 5 seconds will tell you everything you need to know about your mindset right then and there. And most people in those 5 seconds will begin to beat themselves up. Oh my gosh, that was probably a dumb idea. I shouldn't have said anything. They're probably thinking all these things. They're probably thinking why they hired me. I sound so, you would just spiral. Meanwhile, can anybody tell me in the chat what else could have been the reason why no one said anything? Anybody want to just throw something out there? Why was it quiet for 5 seconds? Yeah, maybe they were shocked. Maybe it was such a great idea. They're like, why didn't we think about this? Maybe they didn't hear you. Maybe your connection went out. Maybe theirs went out. There's 50 other reasons why no one said anything. But those 5 seconds will feel like an eternity. And it's just 5 seconds. No one said anything, right? Maybe they didn't understand what you said. Maybe you use different terminology. There's literally 50 other reasons that have nothing to do with how smart you are, that have nothing to do with how qualified you are, but you already think that you're not. And so it doesn't matter what they think. You already think that. Do you see how pervasive mindset is? Do you see how important it is? Do you see how your mindset can be the thing that either propels you forward or holds you back? In the same way, when you think of mindset this way, right? When you were, think back to your younger self. Like think about yourself before you ever made 6 figures. Like maybe when you were making 50K. Can you think about how almost childlike you were, right? The thought of fear wasn't, there was no such thing. You need the job. You needed the job. You were going to go for it. Let somebody tell you no. But somehow the older you've gotten, the more successful you've gotten, the more accomplished you've gotten, the more scared you've become. You just don't call it fear. The more you want to protect, the more you have to protect. And so it makes you have a lot of trepidation. It makes you really, you don't move. You don't make bold moves anymore. That's mindset. That's mindset, right? Think about your earlier self. Think about a little kid, a little baby, right? That's learning to walk. Do you think they're over there like, ooh, can I make it over there? No, they're going for it. They're going for it. And so the older you get, the more successful you get, the more seasoned you get, you start to come up with all these stories and all these messages, and you start to let that limit you and hold you back. And that is mindset. Okay? That's mindset.